Hey, what's up? This is Brian Pfeiffer, the owner of BachelorVegas.com. And I'm standing here today, guys, in front of the Encore and Wynn complex here, okay? You can see the background there. That is the Encore. And I was just inside over there at XS Nightclub, and this video is going to be all about XS Nightclub, kind of an update video. It's one of my more popular videos. I get a lot of booking over there at XS. It's a Wednesday night. I was just here. A-Craze is there tonight. I had the owner's table. And ultimately, we moved the owner's table to the dance floor, in the dance floor table, because on Wednesday nights in this economy, they don't have enough people to really fill the dance floor, so they put a couple of big L couches on the dance floor, and those are kind of the newer owner's table on like a Wednesday night. Now Fridays and Saturdays they have a full dance floor. You won't see those on there, but if you're coming out to Las Vegas and you're interested in going to XS Nightclub at the Encore Hotel, this video is going to be all about the XS bottle service. It's my #1 club and always been my favorite club out here. It's been about 15 years now I've been going here, and I really enjoy the place. And one of the reasons I do like it so much is because it's not so freaking loud in there, and they got the outdoor area if you want to go out there and do a little gambling. They actually have a casino outside with has craps and blackjack. Nice chill out there. It's not quite as loud. You can have conversations. And even inside, it's not that loud. Now, you go to some of the other mega clubs like the Omnias or the Lives and the Zooks out here, Hakkasans, the sound systems in those places are so intense, it's hard to even, really have a conversation. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I like XS so much, is because of that. Now, as far as the 2025 roster goes, as far as talent goes, they did lose a couple of their big hitters. Okay, they lost Kygo to the Tao group, and they lost David Guetta to the Live group over there. The only thing about those two guys is they're only really here from, end of March till April and then May, and then they're gone. They're over in Europe for the rest of the year. So it's not the biggest hit, if you will. But they did lose Rufus the Soul. They had a couple Sundays where he was there. The talent on Sunday Night Swim, and those were good parties. But he's going to be on tour. That group's going to be on tour this year, so you won't be finding Rufus the Soul at XS this year, unfortunately. But they did pick up a couple pretty good mid-level people. They got Odessa now. It's going to be on some limited shows. That should be a good show over here. They did pick up Deadmau5 from the group, the Zook group across the street. They also picked up Sophie Tucker, and I noticed a couple recent appearances by Hugo and also Vintage Culture. Okay, so those are some of the new pickups. They still got some of the old standbys. Marshmallow's one of their obviously big hitters. They still got the Chainsmokers. He's the Duo is one of their big hitters, of course, and then they also have Diplo. Okay, so that's going to be their three main guys that they kind of do every weekend around those three guys. So if you're coming out to Vegas on any given weekend, you're probably able to catch maybe all three of them, and maybe just one or two of them. Griffin's kind of one of their big hitters now as well. And those are the main guys you kind of see out there. Now on Sunday nights, you're going to find like occasionally they'll have like a Diplo or somebody, or maybe like an Afrojack. But it's like an A-Craze type of thing on their Sunday night swims. This year is kind of going to be one of those tougher years in the club scene out here. The economy is a little bit shaky, if you will, and it's difficult to fill the clubs, same club 3 or 4 nights in a row. Okay, so they got Wednesday going here, and then they got the Sunday night swim that's going to start here in May, and then they got the Fridays and Saturdays. Okay, so 4 nights a week, and it's just tough to fill these places that many nights of the week. You kind of see it tonight. It was decent in there. The dance floor was pretty full, half the dance floor, because the rest of it was tables, but it wasn't great. There's probably a lot of comps on there, and around 12:30 it started getting pretty busy. So the guys that I had in there, they had an owner's table, and they had a good time, so they're having fun, and that's really all that mattered. So you can pretty much make a good night here any night you want to come. So let's talk a little bit about the bottle service, get into this place, etc. You can always get on the guest list. Just so you guys know, the guest list has always kind of been an issue here. If you want to get into this place, they'll put you into the guest list, and then you have to actually go outside to get into the club. And then once you get into the club, then you're going to actually not be able to get into the actual club. Okay, you're going to be kind of stuck outside unless you know like a host or promoter, or you have a table that you can go to, and you can go somehow pass the line from outside to inside. Okay, so just keep that in mind if you're getting on the free guest list. It's just outside, and if it's kind of cool out or really hot out, not the best place to be stuck out outside all night. Okay, and then you can buy tickets. Tickets are going to guarantee entry into the club, so that's one thing you could definitely do if you want to make sure you get inside the club. And then of course, if you want to buy a bottle service and get a table, that's where I'm going to help you guys out and be able to get you guys a nice section. So let's talk about some of the sections here. This is my #1 club, and we do a lot of bookings over here, so I do know this place inside and out. Been working with this place for about 15 years now, and just about every weekend you're going to find me over here at least one night, and maybe 2 nights or 3 nights, sometimes 4 nights like this week. But all right, let's kind of start with the inside area, and then we'll work our way outside. And We'll start with the best tables in the inside. In my opinion, those are the owners' tables. Those are going to be the 4 tables in the center, the 2 lower dance floors and the 2 upper dance floors. The one on the right, back in the day, used to be always rented out by Jason Giambi, and they used to call it the Giambi table. Those days are long gone now. But that was the right-hand side upper dance floor in the center, and then the 2 lower dance floors, and then the other one was the Steve Wynn table, the owner's table. But now they actually call all 4 of them the owner's table. All right, and then you got the lower dance floors. Those tables are, I think there's 10 of them, 5 on each side, I want to say. And then there's the upper dance floors, 5 on each side. And I think that's the owner's table plus the 4 on each side. And then the ones on the end, as far as the upper dance floors go, those are a little bit bigger for bigger groups. I had a group there a couple weeks ago. It was like 25 people, and they fit perfectly at that table. The lower dance floors are pretty much all the same size. Okay, the upper dance floors, the 2 in the center are a little bit bigger, and then the ones on the very end are a lot bigger. Okay, they're almost like 2 tables in one. Behind those, you're going to find the large third row tables. Those are called the Big Browns. We used to call them the Big Browns. I think they're still called the Big Browns. Anyway, those are nice tables. There's probably 20 people could fit on those, and they're like in the action. You got people walking behind you and in front of you. I really like those tables. I book them a lot. There's only 4 of those. And then there's the small third row tables, which are a little bit smaller for 8 to 10 people. There's 4... But there's like 3 on each side that I consider really prime, maybe 4 now, because they did get rid of the stripper poles on the right and the left, and they added a couple of tables there, some small third rows. But the ones on the very end have no view at all. You're looking at a wall, okay? And then the one kind of next to that, you're still kind of looking at the wall, but it's a little bit of a view. And then the one next to that is actually a bigger small third row, okay? So if you want a small third row and you got a group of like 15, that one might work for you, okay? The other ones are all kind of small. They're not really going to work for a group of 15. And then behind the small third rows, you're going to find your back wall tables. Those are fairly popular. They're elevated. Usually about 8 to 10 people can fit on those. Sometimes, 7, depending on the size of the people. But if they're all girls, probably 10 people. Okay. And then there's the 4 tops. Okay. There's several 4 tops that I would consider the prime 4 tops. There's 325 and 425. Those used to be 310 and 410 on the old map. On the new map, they're now 325 and 425. They're actually bigger now. They made them a little bit bigger. I sell those all the time. Generally, you got to do the minimum plus a tip in order to get one of those. And then 301 to 303, that's going to be on the right-hand side. Looking at the DJ, that area opens up. It's got a glass window there, if you will. And in the summer, that's open. In the winter, it'll be closed. But you actually can see the DJ from there. In my opinion, some of the best value tables in all of Vegas. You pay the 4 top price with a handshake to get one of those, and you got a great view of the DJ. And then there's some other 4 tops scattered throughout in the action. If you just got, a couple people, a lot of times I have couples or 2 couples, and they just, or they have a tight budget, they don't want to spend a bunch, maybe get a drink or whatever, or a bottle. You get one of those 4 top tables, you get in the main room action. Where some of the other big clubs like, Zook at a 1K, you're in the back wall. Omnia, you're not even in the main room, okay? And even Live on, bigger DJ nights, you're not even going to be in the main room for a 1K. So it's kind of cool. You can get a 1K table, $1,500 table, and, if you want a tip to get one of the prime ones, you're in the main room, okay? Now, they have that area behind the stage. Okay, there's a large stage to the right and the left of the DJ. A lot of times those are like reserved for when the Eagles came here after they won the Super Bowl. Okay, those are good tables for that. And then, generally we got to request those. I can get them if you need them. If you got a big group, you want one of those, they're pretty pricey, okay? And then there's going to be like your just regular stage tables. Those are going to be the ones kind of behind the DJ. If the chain smokers are like performing, for example, they kind of perform to the inside and outside, so you kind of get both. But the right hand, the stage area is kind of like the VIP area. Okay, you have to have a wristband to get back there. If you have a table, you'll get wristbands for you and your guests. And then basically there's going to be like large side stage and then small side stage, still considered in that like VIP area. Okay, so you basically have 4 options in that stage area that you're going to get wristbands for and be in the VIP area, if you will. Okay, and a lot of people like to be back there because a lot of girls like to hang out there, and a lot of locals and stuff like to be hanging out in that area that's kind of considered like the VIP, if you will. Now let's talk about more all the outside area. On certain nights, most of the nights nowadays, they have the platform up. Okay, the platform tables are going to be, where you walk from like the casino to the DJ booth essentially. And those tables are pretty nice. They're roomy, big, and I like them. They also have like some premium. They call them the premium outside tables, but those are going to be like your first. Poolside daybeds, if you will. Those are going to be considered the premium outside tables. They're basically the same thing as the platform, and on some nights the platform kind of covers those up. So the premium outside tables versus the platform, they're about the same. Okay, and then You have the poolside daybeds. Those are going to be the ones around the pool. Those are nice big areas for like groups of like 10 to 15 or 20 even. And you got a lot of room out there. Now on Sunday nights when those are really prime, you know, on the other nights, not as prime. Okay. Obviously most people want to be inside or in the VIP area these days, just because it doesn't have enough people to really like completely fill up the club, especially outside on most nights these days. All right. Now you also have the lower cabanas, okay, on Fridays and Saturdays, you're going to find those might be open, depending on how crowded it is. And then, you know, on obviously in the Sunday night swim, the whole party's outside, okay, so they don't have any seating inside. Those lower cabanas are actually fairly prime on the Sunday night swim. Now, they have upper cabanas too. Never really seat those on like a Friday, Saturday, or Wednesday. But on a Sunday, on a busy Sunday, if they have like a bigger artist or they have like an Afrojack versus Diplo or something like that, they might seat the upper cabanas as well. Okay, those are pretty cool. Now then, spread out throughout the pool deck, if you will, there's going to be the pool deck lawn tables, they call them. There's going to be some that are considered more prime over by the bar. Generally, you got a tip to get those. Fairly low minimums. I call it the 719 area on the map. And those tables are pretty good, especially on Sundays. Those are really good for the, you know, the Sunday night swim. And then even on the regular nights, that outside bar gets pretty crowded. And there's a lot of action over there. Okay, so if your budget's fairly low and you want to do a little tip to get one of those 719 area tables, I would recommend those. Now, there are tables that are kind of toward the back behind the casino. We call those the lawn tables, and those are called like no man's land. Okay, you don't want those. If you can avoid getting those on a regular Friday or Saturday, those are going to be way out there in no man's land. That's what we call it that. But on Sundays, they're not bad. There's action over in that area on a Sunday night, and if it's, you know, low minimums, 750 to a 1K minimum these days, get one of those tables and get yourself a bottle, and, you know, during the action, especially on a Sunday night. All right. So that's pretty much it. That's all the tables at XS. You know, I do know this place inside and out. And if you do have questions, it's probably best to just give me a call. My cell phone's above, 773-459-8133. That's my cell phone. And I'm happy to answer any questions, help plan your Vegas trip, and get your XS table going, get you one of those prime spots I talked about if you want one of those. And I can make it happen. All right. Now, we also put this place with a lot of our packages. Like if you're a group of guys, you want to do like a strip club, nightclub all in one night, maybe dinner, open bar at dinner, etc. We could do a nice package for you guys. We find it with Top Golf, Atomic Golf, ATVs, shooting, whatever you guys want. We do all that for the bachelor parties, guy groups, and of course for the girls. Then we have, you know, options with you know, Magic Mike, Chippendales, Thunder Down Under, and all the fun girl stuff. And a lot of open bar dinners and really nice high-end fancy dinners at places like Catch and even Delilah and stuff for ladies. So if you guys want to do something like that, do it up big. Even if you don't want to get a table here, you just want to get in, we can do that as well. All right. So we do have that available as well. And I'm looking forward to hosting you out here in Las Vegas. I'm Brian Pfeiffer, signing out here from front of the Encore. And if you like my content, I would appreciate a like on the video. Do subscribe to this channel for more. Bang the notifications bell. Looking forward to working with you out here in Las Vegas. Let's talk soon. Goodbye.